Andrea, you sent me this Wall Street Journal article the other day, How to Retire Better from Retirees Who Learned the Hard Way. And this was the base for this entire discussion on how to take Social Security and how not to take Social Security. They document a 69-year-old man. He regrets retiring at 65. When you read the article, as you can see, he basically says one of the biggest things he did wrong was take Social Security early. And he is not the only person.
I decided to apply for Social Security because of my living situation, since I was already in my 60s and we were moving to a somewhat rural area. There would not be a possibility for me to earn the same kind of income that I was living in a city.
I worked in the bar business. I wanted to be able to last, like to my age now, certainly mid to late 60s before I had to start collecting to max out what I could collect. But, didn't work that way for a couple different reasons.
If I had it to do over again and I had done more thoughtful research, I definitely would have waited to collect. I feel like I threw away a certain amount of money that I could have had counted on every month.
There's a lot of different factors that go into it. It's not something that you should just sort of blindly say, I'm 62 or I'm 65 and boom, time to give them a call and let's start getting the check rolling in. In a perfect world, I would have waited to collect Social Security as long as possible.
A story we've heard a million times. Looking out in the vast landscape of YouTube, there's more bad advice about Social Security than good advice. I wanted this to be the definitive guide on Social Security. Before you do, you have to take a step back. You cannot look at Social Security in a vacuum, can you?
Nope.
Baseline number one is our goal in retirement for life is maximizing the chances of retirement success.
Yes.
That is what you need to be thinking about. How do I maximize the chances of my retirement success? That is done very simply in two ways. You are maximizing the amount of money you have at age 95, and you are maximizing your income stability, aka reducing risk as much as possible.
Yeah.
That is what you should be thinking about full stop in retirement, okay? But it does come into play when you're talking about Social Security. Now, the second thing this article says is that 37% of retirees underestimated their life expectancy by more than 5 years. Andrea, are you surprised by
I
that?
feel like it should be a higher number.
What do we tell people all the time about you are 65, you are in our office,
Yeah.
you're talking about retirement with us. What do we tell them their chances are to live long?
Yeah, so a 65-year-old couple, there's a 50% chance that at least one of them lives to age 92, and a 25% chance that they live to age 96.
1 in 4 people that walk into our office, Austin, are going to live to be age 95. And they all say, oh, I'm going to die. No. We're not planning on you dying early. We're planning on you living to be 95. That's what we're going to do as fiduciaries.
Yep.
Baseline number 2 is very important in the Social Security decision. Life expectancy for a 65-year-old married couple is much higher than most people realize. You need to understand that the chances of you or your wife living to 95, there's a chance, a 25% chance, that one of you is going to be 95 years old. Have that in your mind when you're making this Social Security decision. And we'll get to how to make the decision, how to make this a good, educated, smart decision. But before we do, let's just talk a little common sense. So everybody's situation is different. But if you're just thinking very common sense, Austin, it says the math favors starting at what age?
70.
The math says wait till age 70. Why? Because the average person who is 65, you just said there's a 25% chance they live to 95, but the average 65-year-old sitting in our office getting ready to retire is going to live to be about 84, 85 years old, but yet the break even on Social Security is 80. It's just very simple. The math is common sense. There are a few examples where maybe you'd want to, like for example, if your spouse is much older or much younger than you,
Or possibly if you're single.
And maybe one spouse has made a lot more money. But generally speaking, it's just a simple math problem, and that's what I want to show. So I asked Austin, since it's just common sense, right? We're oversimplifying right now. We haven't gotten to the real good stuff yet.
Yeah.
We're oversimplifying. But generally speaking, for the average American, math is simple. Wait till age 70 to take your Social Security. But Austin, how many people in America take their Social Security at age 70?
So I did come up with that number. It is a percentage. I want all three of you guys to guess today.
Brooke, you go first.
18%.
I think 15%.
I'm going to say 11%.
It is 10%. You're 1% off. Look,
10% of Americans are getting this right. The majority of Americans are getting it wrong, and it's all about our frame of mind, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Here is how you think about Social Security. Hey, everybody, are you enjoying this video? If you are, give us a thumbs up. Do you want to stay on top of the content? Then subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching. Baseline number 3. There are so many variables in a plan. You cannot have Social Security in a vacuum. You go to that dinner seminar, they give you that canned report about Social Security. It doesn't take anything else into account. You have to have a complete plan, sit down and make the decision with all the variables, right? Because when you decide to take Social Security at 62, it changes your investments. When you decide to take Social Security at 70, it could impact your RMDs and your taxes. There's just so many things that all have to work together. Baseline number 3, don't look at a simple Social Security calculator online or at a dinner seminar and make your decision about Social Security. Baseline number 4, a lot of times people come to me and they say their expenses are going to be lower in retirement, right?
Yeah.
What's the old lady say? I'm not gonna spend a lot of money when I'm 85.
Right.
That's true. You're not going to eat as much food. You're not going to use as much gas. You're not going to drive as much. You're not going to go as much vacations.
Right.
Your expenses are going to go down about 1% per year in retirement. 1.5%. But Austin, what are we forgetting about?
we still have inflation, which is beating what's going down. So you have a 3% inflation you have to account for.
So what's really happened to our expenses in retirement?
Going up.
They are going up. Remember, your expenses will go up in retirement. And what's the big thing we didn't talk about regarding expenses?
Healthcare.
We've talked about it in previous episodes. Healthcare costs.
85-year-old couple, they're going to have about $30,000 to $35,000 of out-of-pocket medical expenses. And I don't care how old you are, that's going to go up 5% a year. Baseline number 4, your expenses are going to go up. So we've talked about the goal is to maximize the chances of retirement success. We've talked about that you have to look at the big picture with Social Security. And we've talked about the fact that your expenses are going to go up. So let's really talk about the last elephant in the room. What?
Everyone's always concerned about Social Security not being there when they want it.
And what do I say about that?
That it's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away.
The people that we vote for are
I
not
could make a
gonna
whole
get rid of it.
episode on why Social Security is not going to go broke, but I'm not going to bore people with that right now. Let's make another episode that nobody will watch about why Social Security is not going to go broke. Social Security is not going to go broke. I will say one thing. Me and Elon Musk paid the same amount into Social Security last year. Okay? He's the richest man in the world. I'm not. One flip of a switch, 100 people in Washington could fix the Social Security problem like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any more about that. Those are the baseline assumptions.